Don't touch your sets. Don't adjust your dials. You're right, Joel and Hanson. It is an unexpected Saturday stream. And let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the final bit of the puzzle as far as Week 9 Term 1 action is concerned. And our replay of Friday Night Motorsport with thanks to Disruptive Labs. The penultimate round of the GTE Championship coming to you from the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. Better known, of course, it's the gateway to hypothermia down there in Victoria. Soon to host MotoGP for the final time in this era before it heads to the streets of Adelaide next year, of course. But right here and now, it's our focus for the next hour of GTE competition, and what a season it has been thus far. Not our first Saturday Arvo Motorsport broadcast of 2026, of course. We've done a Thursday night replay on a Saturday already, so now a Friday night replay as well. And the reason for that, my good mate Joe Baldwin was unavailable to be on the buttons last night, and none of our other producers or directors were available either. And of course, we didn't want to deny Adam Lavis another racing opportunity. So it just so happened that even though Liam Banks wasn't available today, I'm happy to jump in and deputise for him. The joys of being single and not having any commitments. And it's nice to team up with my good mate Joe Baldwin for the first time this year. Trucker, I can't believe I'm saying that. We've obviously caught up on Discord once or twice along the way, mate, but here we are, almost at the very end of season 24 action. Hard to believe. 6 years on, this club continues to go from strength to strength, and the GTE fields are a reflection of that this season. They've been an absolute belter.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think looking at the list there right now, we've got almost 30 cars in the server at the moment. So now I haven't seen the results. I don't know. This is as raw to me as it would normally be on a Friday night. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the guys handle. I do know that there might have been some Kiwi safety boots out here, a little bit of gumboot action. So there may be a little bit of rain in the main, so to speak. So rain's been the order of the week. So looking forward to seeing how the GTE team tackle, especially Turn 1, where they're heading through now as we're on board with Derek Fitzgerald. So certainly looking forward to something new for me. I haven't done a replay before, but yeah, we can have a quick look at the championship standings as they stand prior to this race.
Paints the picture, doesn't it? I don't want to jump to the conclusion here, ladies and gentlemen, but have a look at the margin. It's in favour of Stephen Bull. It's 110 points. We know Enduro points are online next week in the 90-minute finale. We'll preview Enduro Grand Final week at the end of the broadcast, of course, but have a look at that, 110 points. I would suggest that it's match point for him tonight. If they don't beat him, if they don't reel in that deficit, it's done and dusted. Stephen Bull on pole position, 527 leads. Brendan Grosh, 417. And Liam Haycock, 371. Paul Wood, 325. And Adam Lavis, 318. Gap them back to match. Schmidtke, Ben Woods and Jeff Adams, 285, 270 and 257 respectively. 28 points covers those three men at the moment. All driving the Chev, and all, of course, representing different teams. Greg Henny and Nathan Michael make up the top 10, 211 and 187 respectively. 300 and, again, Matt's not my strong point, Joe. 340 points covers first and 10th at the moment. And good to see. The more things change, the more they stay the same. I'm commentating championships at the moment being dominated by the Porsches across GT4 and GT3, and nothing's changed in GTE. The Porsches are cleaning up here as well. We'll have the qualifying results for you in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We can tell you that it's a 60-minute race tonight. It's the fourth and final this afternoon, as you're seeing it, the final 60-minute race of the campaign. Next week we go for 90, and that will be, of course, around the Circuit de la Sarthe in Le Mans, France. Now, with regards to this one compulsory pit stop tonight, and Stephen Bull and Ryan Jones share the front row. Circuit and weather conditions, we've gone to the middle of winter. I'm not sure why. 19 degrees on track and 19 the ambient. Actually, well, they're extracting the you-know-what if they think it's 19 degrees at 9:30 a.m. on a July morning at Phillip Island. Jesus. 11 km/h winds in a westerly to northwesterly direction and 82% humidity. But so far it is dry. We'll wait and see if that changes over the course of an hour. Will we get 3-4 seasons in an hour? Time will tell.
Of course we will.
But yeah, exactly. 4.48 kilometres, I should say, the length around this circuit as well. 12 turns, you know it by the names more so than the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Bull and Ryan Jones will share the front row here. Brendan Grosh and Jeff Adams, the second row. Then you go back to Liam Haycock and Aidan Luthwaite. Great to see him back on the grid there on the third row. David Hayne, Adam Lavis, fourth row. Eduardo Zamora and Jonathan Harris from 5. Row 6 is Eli Donaldson, who's cleaning up in GT3 at the moment. He's already pretty much secured that championship. Rodney Gollan alongside him for Riot Sim Racing. They did run a ride on Thursday night. Bobby Camo, Derek Fitzgerald, Dave Oliver and Jordan Pianazola make up the next few rows. Back to row 9, Matt Schmidtke, Russell Gander. Good to see him back on the grid for Northwind, and Greg Heaney and Paul Wood. That's been one of the growing teams to keep an eye on, actually, this season has been Northwind. They're fast expanding their presence and their personnel, and it's good to see one of the new teams in the club. Travis has a party, and Joel and Hanson from 11, Richard King and Trent Lavis. Hey, here we go. T. Lavis back on the grid from 12. Cooper Friend, then Martin Davis, Daniel Lewis, Brett Barker and Jordan Dakin make up the field. No Barker, no Dakin. They haven't taken to the grid. And down on pit road, you got Bobby Camo and Daniel Lewis waiting for the field to come through, and they will start from pit exit. So we are ready to rock and roll. Stephen Bull, the form man, goes into the penultimate round of the season looking to secure the title. GTE for Disruptive Labs from Phillip Island, a Friday night replay on a Saturday afternoon. Great to have you along. It's 6 minutes to 10 on the West Coast, 6 minutes to 1 on the East Coast, and we're going racing for an hour. Great start, Stephen Bull. Moved across to the inside, covered off Ryan Jones. The ominous threat of the Porsche on the run towards the first corner. Have a look at the blinder of a start from Liam Haycock. He was down on the inside of Jeff Adams. Now he's wide at 1. So Haycock goes wide but gathers it up. Doesn't drop a spot. Jeff Adams there in 5th spot for Whiskey Business Racing. Still getting used to seeing Jeff Adams in the Whiskey Business colours. Haycock and Luthwaite, Lavis and Harris, the top 8 at the moment. Harris up 2 spots off the start. And a blinder of a jump for Cooper Friend, already up to 14th if you don't mind. Plus 11, are you kidding me? Unbelievable jump from him in the Porsche. Just ahead of Trent Lavis, who's also up 9. We've had a fair bit of trouble in that opening stage, folks, but of course it's a replay file. We can't show you the highlights until the end. Russell Gander, Eli Donaldson, Travis has a party, Paul Wood and Jordan Pianazola have run into trouble early. Daniel Lewis has joined from the back of the field, so too Bobby Camo. 27 out there running around at the moment as they crest Lukey Heights for the first time and drop down. Porsche 1, 2, 3. It's like I'm here on a Monday night all over again. Oh, off goes Ryan Jones. Off goes Ryan Jones. Porsche 1, 2, 3, no more. Jonesy bowls it wide at MG. Oh, and there's more trouble. Cooper Friend caught up, pointing backwards for Northwind. Rodney Gollan for Riot Sim Racing. Also Matt Schmidtke and Eli Donaldson involved. At turn 11, not the common point of association for drama at Phillip Island. Very rare do you see incidents out of that part of the racetrack. But anyway, first time for everything. And Adam Lavis now off the road at the Southern Loop. You might have just seen that in the background. Jesus, Joe, plenty of action to get us going.
Yeah, it's all happened, but I tell you what, some things, the more they change, the more they say the same. Stephen Bull out here stamping his authority very, very early in this race, which it's something this guy's done all season in GTE. I think Adelaide was about his only blip on the radar where he smacked the wall a couple of times and didn't get a result, but the rest of the season, this guy's just been absolutely unstoppable. So Liam Haycock, he's having another solid run up the front there. He's certainly one of those guys. Said it a couple of times this season, he's improved. He's showing a good run at the moment. Oh, no, it looks like we've got Russell Gander. He's had an issue back here. He's off track.
And Dave Oliver was there with him at the start of that too, Joe. So that was over through Siberia at turn 5. They both get back going, but there's going to be some damaged, wounded cars that might even be looking at an invoice. Paul Wood has already been to pit lane. Daniel Lewis is off the road again. Paul Wood has already been to pit lane, so that's important to note. A splash and dash fast repair for Woodsy. You've only got to make one compulsory pit stop. You're starting to get the feeling that there's going to be 3 or 4 drivers that are going to now be hamstrung by a 2-stop strategy. And we're only 3 minutes in.
Aiden run a bit wide down into the southern loop. Thanks for the subscribe, Pink Centre Gamer there. Tyres are a little cooler on the roll-up than they were in the warm-up. Yeah, right. So that's going to make it very difficult, especially with this new tyre model. Like, they do give you... like when you grid now, they do give you warmed tyres. They're not up to race temp, but if you roll around slowly for a lap like we do with these, obviously the tyres are going to cool down from what they are when you pop out onto the grid. So, yeah, one of those things you got to be aware of. It is a simulation, so it's going to simulate tyre temperatures and pressures and all that sort of stuff, which is great. Like, the sim's come a long way from when I joined nearly 12 years ago, I suppose.
That's exactly right. There is plenty happening in the world of sport today, ladies and gentlemen. So if there is a chance to come up for air in this race, we'll go around the grounds. There's a lot going on today, and I've got the Foxtel remote handy next to me here in central commentary to be able to channel change on the fly. I couldn't compete, had packet loss issues, says Jordan Dakin. Yep. Funny that Joe and I were just talking about the inconsistencies and the trip ups or hazards of current modern day internet technology in this country before we got on air. Did you find them, or do we need to put a missing poster? I love it. Hey, Stephen Bull and Brendan Grosh, Jared Adams there in third, Aiden Luthwaite fourth, Liam Haycock fifth. Now, it's important to remember here, Joe, I'm looking around this leaderboard and I'm seeing different manufacturers. It's a nice change of pace. Yes, there are many different manufacturers involved in this series, but they do draw a line somewhere. Ford, Chev, BMW, Ferrari, Porsche, all of them out there, and all in the top 10. So this series, a very open book as far as the competitiveness is concerned. And even though Porsche still does hold sway as the dominant manufacturer, by the way, in which Stephen Bull has just carved up this term.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, you think, Stephen, seeing what Steve does with that Porsche, that's the one you want to be in, but... You know, there's been a couple of weeks here with young Liam in the Chev push him all the way, and there's a big difference too. Like the Porsche really hasn't looked great on curbs, whereas the Chev, even like you've got Liam and a couple of the other guys that have run the Porsche this season the Chev this season, they've been able to smash over curbs and stuff like that. So they get their speed and consistency in different ways. And yes, g'day Senna, how are you? I'm Joe Baldwin, and Zach Caven's your main commentator over the other side there, Pete. So yeah, pleased to meet you. So the cars generate their pace a lot different. So the different tracks give different strength to the different cars.
Kurt Normanson just acknowledging that, work kept him out of the cockpit last night. And it's been a week for it, hasn't it? I mean, it's been either work or family commitments that have derailed all and sundry. So obviously, Joe had a family engagement last night. Adam Lavis had a family engagement Wednesday night. Dan Yeaman had work commitments Wednesday night. That's why we weren't here Wednesday night, which brings me back to the last bit of housekeeping I've got to do. Next Wednesday is when Adam and I are going to revisit round 9 action from the Supercars and the Legends. We're looking to do that in the daylight hours and then bring you the grand finale live in the evening. Cooper Friend off the road at Lukey Heights. So stay tuned for that. We're fully aware of the fact that we haven't been able to go and have a look at the Supercars just yet. Couldn't be in 3 places at once. And for what it's worth, just on the record, I want people to hear this from me. If we had a guaranteed producer, director confirmed for the full complement on Wednesday night, I would have told our colleagues over at the Australian Sim Racing Group that I was unavailable. But it was nice to get the call up anyway off the bench to cover for an ill Scott Rankin for the opening round of Logitech G Pro Invitational. It was good to see a few of our members popping up in that field as well. Same can be said for the Porsche Pro Invitational field when that gets underway on April 1, which will be week 1 of our term break, and it will be preceded by, if you don't mind, a rare Tuesday night motorsport broadcast for us on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. Because we're going to have the Australian Open World Nationals on Tuesday, March 31, because, again, we want to run that event during the break, but we also wanted to avoid Easter, so Easter Thursday and onwards, and we also wanted to avoid running up against, because you're on a hiding to nothing, the Porsche Pro Invitational, because there's massive energy around that right around Australia at the moment. And if you have a look at that field, it is absolutely stacked with some of the best sim racing talent this country's ever seen. Jeff Adams, Liam Haycock coming together, and Liam Haycock's off the road. We're following Derek Fitzgerald down, and there it is. Haycock rejoining the road. See, he's getting very well acquainted with the real estate tonight. He was in the weeds at turn 1, lap 1, and he's in the weeds again on lap 6. 6 laps gone, 8.5 minutes gone, ladies and gentlemen. Look, don't ask me this time of the day to try and do mathematics, but we'll be in excess of 40 laps tonight. I can guarantee you that. Just how many in excess depends on pit lane transits and other things, but yes, probably somewhere around the vicinity of 41, 42 laps. So looking forward to this. And basing that on, well, 90 seconds would constitute 1 lap, 2 in every 3 minutes if it was a 90-second lap, like what it is for GTE 3 or the supercars. By Woodsy, car was dead by turn 2, managed to get it back to the pits. Yeah, good boy. We did see that you were having a little bit of an issue. Boken 78. Yes, it was Boken, all right. Woodsy's out there and running around behind Dave Oliver, actually, who's also had to make an early pit stop for a similar reason. Bobby Camo from pit lane has made his way up into 14th in this opening stint. Stephen Bull, Aidan Luthwaite, Brendan Grosh, Jonathan Harris and David Hayne remain the top 5. Jonesy, despite an off-track excursion earlier, has recovered for 6th spot, 9 3/4 minutes gone. We follow Trent Lavis, who's torn through the field up 15 spots already to Lukey Heights, and he is inside the top 10 firmly by this point. Adam Lavis in behind him, so the siblings getting well acquainted. Nice chance for them to catch up as they make their way onto the main straight. 124.122. Brendan Grosh, fastest lap of the race. We start lap 8, so 7 laps every 10 minutes based on those numbers. So yeah, we're looking good for 42. 6 10s are 60, 7 6s are 42. 42 or 43, depending upon whether the pace improves or not. But I think with that pit lane transit as well, and we know how long a pit lane transit it is, Joe, I think 42 is probably good fishing for the moment.
Depends if we throw in the water into the mix too. They could throw your numbers. But
that's exactly right.
While I have the floor, I just want to send out some commiserations to Madison Down. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh, geez.
Commiserations, right?
If you haven't seen that on their socials, go and have a look. That was a difficult one to call, quite frankly, because you wanted to say so much, but then you had to remember that your microphone was hot. So, bad luck, Madison Down. And I think you would have heard in the commentary there too, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Sandman Clark, the voice of the series, there's no doubt about that. He even had to pull himself up at a point there. His passion really came to the surface during the heat of that moment. Down the main straight we go. Madison's an absolute superstar of the caper. He's a Hall of Famer at the ASRG. He will bounce back, there's no doubt about that. Next round of their championship, not until the end of April now, but we've got 2 Porsche Pro Invitational rounds to come before that. But yeah, Australian Open World Nationals will be the night before the Porsche Pro kicks off. So March 31, more details coming out next week, I am sure. In the meantime, here's Derek Fitzgerald. Speaking of more information, our Term 2 action gets underway on Monday, April 13. So join us next week, because Greg Heaney's already given me the heads up that I'm going to have the honours of disclosing what's when, where, why and how. All the details that everybody's seeking with regards to what's going to make up the broadcast schedule during next week's programming at some point. So do stay tuned for that. Hard to believe Term 1's already pretty much in the rearview mirror. It's been unbelievable.
Just about done, yep.
Derek Fitzgerald here in the meantime follows in the path of Adam Lavis and Trent Lavis at the moment. He's getting very well acquainted with Team Lavis and the Aussie Racers stable.
What's it with green cars all hanging out together?
I know. Good colour. And very, very poignant, actually, because we had Green Day on Tuesday, of course, St. Patrick's Day. Oh, 2 wheels in the dirt for Liam Haycock. Been a wild ride for him.
What lap, Matt? What lap?
Schmitty, the worst thing you could have done was give us a heads up for that, because we're now going to be watching that like hawks. But anyway, appreciate the spoiler. Don't put his
lap
pit
number, Mr. Schmicky.
Give us the lap number. You know he's not going to come back with that information now.
No,
he's not going to. No. 13 minutes gone, racing towards the first round of pit stops. And if that rain does arrive, and again, I haven't seen the radar, I'm none the wiser as to what's going on there. If we do see any precipitation, that may decrease the number of laps, but it may increase the interest and the intensity and the excitement levels in this race. It'll put everybody on edge once the rain turns up, says Greg Heaney. Okay, so there's the confirmation. There's your second spoiler alert in the space of 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. And there is rain on the way. So, yeah, that'll bugger up the mathematics, because the mathematics I was trying to do was based on dry numbers, and I now won't be any the wiser as to whether I was actually right or not, but that's okay. Cooper Friend trying to work his way back through the field here at the moment. All hell breaking loose on a Saturday afternoon. These replays are a lot of fun, Joe. I mean, because you and I have deliberately avoided spoilers. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
these guys do. And we get more interaction from them because they're not in the cockpit trying to drive these things. They're tuning in to re-watch their antics and exploits. So it's great to have all you guys on board. There are some of us watching it for the first time, so the spoilers are not necessarily helpful, but that's okay. Joel and Hansen off the road and bowling through the grass at this point in time. Oh, by the way, if you get a chance to go and watch some of the footage coming in overnight from Brazil, Joe, MotoGP returning to Brazil for the first time in 22 years. Going to be fantastic race on Monday morning, I get the feeling, based on what I've seen of that circuit in practice so far.
And no, the spin for MtnMen hasn't been done yet. That'll be done as soon as the race is done.
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot about that. The obligations of a Friday night crew, yes.
No spoilers. No spoilers, Mr. Hayne.
No. I'm not even going to read the comments from this point. 15 minutes gone. Oh, how good. Good to have David Hayne tuning in.
I have a little bit of inside information that Zach isn't even aware of, so you'll get his that whole live reaction thing. So don't go ruining it, gentlemen. Don't drop anything to the main commentator.
Well, actually, that's exactly right. Joel makes a good point. The fact that we've delayed the spin until the time that we do this broadcast means that they've got less prep time for MtnMen tonight. So that's going to be worth tuning in for, just to see who handles that tight turnaround the best. Looking forward to that immensely. No guarantee that you'll be on the grid, Trucker, but I know you'll. I know you'll be back next week and looking for redemption. Stephen Ball, Aidan Luthwaite, David Hayne, Ryan Jones and Jonathan Harris, the top five at the moment. I think somewhere in amongst all of this, mate, we got to the point of talking about manufacturer diversity. Unlike some of our other offerings, the whole complement here, right? Matt Schmidtke makes a good point. That's a very good point. Maybe the only prep time you're allowed to do for MtnMen's in practice. I don't know. When the server actually goes up at what time does it normally go up? About 7 o'clock Eastern. So yeah 60 minutes of qual, 7:30 Eastern, 60 minute qual and 32 lap race. I'm just reading that now. Ryan Jones, that's just not in the spirit of the series. Off goes Martin Davis, and also at the same time, David Hayne. He was talking about it was going well until it wasn't. That might have been a bit of a hint.
Well, he's off to the World Rally Championship with that sort of driving.
Actually, could you imagine if they put a rallycross circuit in at Phillip Island?
Oh,
jeez.
There's spoiler alert, we might actually get to see turn one of the rally track later in the broadcast. Just keep your eyes open, people. Just keep your eyes open. Eli Donaldson's, he's having a
good recovery so far.
He's down. Well, I would say he's back up to being 4 positions down, but
that's right.
Still a long way to go in this one, so he'll be keen to try and get himself back up into the top 10. He's had a pretty solid season so far as Eli. Travis as a party, he's up 4. Richard King, we haven't seen much of him lately.
No.
Sporting the all black livery today, so he's up 5 positions from his start. Martin Davis is up 7. Unfortunately, snakes and ladders.
There goes David Hayne again.
Oh, no.
Off the road again. This time at turn 4. which used to be always known as Honda, and then they went and renamed it Miller, and I'm still trying to work out why. Phillip Island may as well down the rally route just to have something at this point. That's it. Martin Davis, yep, off the road at 4. You're right, Jordan. They're running out of events to host, aren't they? They've lost MotoGP. Yeah. They'll probably lose the World Supers at some point, but where the World Supers would go to, I don't know. Did you manage to catch Travis, Cooper, Rodney and me going almost 4 wide towards turn 1? We probably will find that in the highlight reel at some point, I'm sure. There's the rain! There's the rain! Hello, here we go! Hello. Game changer at the island, and it's not even at the 20-minute mark. So this brings with it an interesting question, Joe. There's 2 parts to this, right? So we didn't know what time the rain was going to arrive. We don't know how good these guys are on fuel. So we don't know exactly where they're due to come in. It's only 1 compulsory pit stop, so that would suggest that they can get to at least the halfway mark and then go around again. Travis has a party, Rodney Gollan jumping in now. Whether they're going straight onto the wet soil, they're going to have to compromise and go on the dries for a little bit longer and then come over to the wets. We're not sure. But this is the point. Where is the crossover point, and will it impact strategy play? Will this instantly become a 2-stopper because these guys are coming in for fuel now and it's not maybe wet enough to take, yeah, who knows. I think it's just the sea mist off the Bass Strait. Yes, good on you, Jordan. I like it. So a little bit of rain at the island. We love it. And unfortunately for us, we don't get the intel at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, because it's a replay file, so we don't actually have that live tyre compound information available at our disposal to be able to pass on to you. But I would suggest the flurry of pit lane activity, Joe. There's a few people contemplating that move right now to wets. Rodney Gollan, Travis Azzopardi and Russell Gander, have all been on the road on the pit lane box, I should say, for more than half a minute. So they've probably made the change immediately.
Hang on, wait, I'm going to keep an eye on Schmidtke. What's this?
Here we go. Matty Schmidtke to pit lane. Let's watch it. Let's watch it. Let's watch it. He's going to get poleaxed, isn't he? Yep, bang, there it is.
We missed it.
Oh.
The bloody sign was in the way.
He's been clean bowled on the entry to pit lane. That's a 3-car pile-up on pit road. You can't actually get into pit lane at the moment. This is an absolute disaster for the drivers that are in behind them. Schmidtke's involved. Eli Donaldson's involved. He's second incident of the night. Jordan Piazzolla, Greg Heaney, Richard King, all balked by that.
We needed a
unbelievable.
Right
if this was real world motorsport, they would have had no choice but to deploy the safety car because pit lane was blocked. And now Jolyon Hanson's missed his box completely. What the hell's going on here?
Jolyon, what are you doing? This is the whole Days of Thunder. He's blocking me.
Exactly. Oh, there we go. He's up on the jacks. That's a very weird place to be stopping as far as I'm concerned. What's going on there? The spoiler sign. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. That
put that on the replay file, Joe. We'll go back and have a look at that from another angle. Stephen Bouladen looks like their time is now. They reckon 36 minutes to a tank, so we've got 38 to go. Can they save enough fuel based on lap times being a little bit slower on wet tyres to take the plunge, take the punt now? Greg Heaney locking it up on the run into the pit lane and getting back going.
No, he's coming out of the pit lane.
Oh, that's a good point, yes.
Yeah.
I went to correct it and then I couldn't move the car.
Yeah, the car was locked into to getting work done to it. So you were probably lucky there, Jolyon. Normally it wouldn't service you when you're in that sort of position. So
David Haynes had his moment, I reckon. We'll have a look at that on replay because he only just got back on the racetrack. Jonathan Harris, Liam Haycock remain the only 2 drivers to not have stopped yet. And as a result of that, because of the stationary time in GTE being 40 seconds to change compounds, that's unbelievable, the length of that stop. 41-second stops here, so that's going to ruin the lap counter as well. We've got David Hayne, Dave Oliver off the road. We've got David Hayne into pit lane, Martin Davis as well. Did anyone get slugged? Yeah, Matt Schmidtke, Eli Donaldson both got slugged, unsurprisingly, for an unsafe pit entry. So they've been stationary for 1 minute and 20. We've got drivers that are now showing a lap down. And there'll still be some that are a lap down even after Harris and Haycock have cleansed the field. We've got Hayne, Oliver and Davis on pit road at the moment. Haycock off the road again. He's had more off tracks than anybody tonight so far, Liam Haycock. Jonathan Harris up there in the pit lane right now. And there was something else going on. There's so much going on in our screen at the moment, folks. It's very hard to stay across. But there was something else going on there that I wanted to mention. That's right, Cooper Friend. So Cooper Friend's had an incident there that's required for him to be on the pit lane for 2 minutes and 13 seconds. And 14 laps into the race he is. He's now nearly 2 laps down. Just you wait until the replay. Maybe a lap too late. Okay. Oh, boy. Try and dissect all of that for me, Joe. Try and make sense of all of that.
I'm trying. I get people had accidents, and by the time I find them in my list, Eli's had another incident.
Yep, and Ryan Jones is off the track right now as well.
Trying to find them in my list here so that I can jump on board with them. Harrison.
Speeding in the lane, 40-second penalty. Okay, copy that. Now, is that Harris or Haycock? It looks like it's Harris. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to work out whose handle that is. No, Harris is okay, so it must... Is that you, Liam Haycock?
Eli. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to find Liam.
Oh, Liam. Yep, thank you, mate. Appreciate that. So, Liam Haycock's on pit road, and he's got himself a stop and hold for speeding in pit lane. So, 2 unsafe pit entries, 1 speeding in pit lane, three contenders rubbed out just like that. Wowee. Big afternoon of sport, ladies and gentlemen. Women's National Cricket League final being played at the moment. Queensland in full control of that. Golden Slipper Day at Rose Hill. AFL, NRL, you name it, will go around the grounds when time permits. Have a look at... See, this is the thing, right? There's no consistency with the rain model in iRacing. We love the Tempest weather system. We love what it's brought to the server. Some of these guys will be having post-traumatic stress disorder from dealing with the deluge of Noah's Ark proportions rain at the Nürburgring Nordschleife the night before in the Porsche Cup. But the rain has arrived and it has lashed down, and we've gone from bone dry to moderately wet pretty bloody quickly.
Yeah, look, this is, I mean, it's typical for the Melbourne area and Phillip Island, to be fair. It's sort of always had weather like this, but yeah, it's when you throw racing in the mix and big heavy cars, it's yeah, with the big sweeping corners like there is here, it makes for a fun mix. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this race finishes out, because these cars are going to be a handful. They already look like they are now. Bobby Camo, he's in the pits.
I thought we'd seen enough rain to do us a lifetime. I don't know how much of that Porsche race you saw on Thursday night, Joe, but my goodness, I've never seen rain of that sort of intensity in a GSRC race before, and it almost got to 100% intensity, like as wet as you could possibly get, as intense as you could possibly get. And the drivers, like the lap time started at about 8:20 in the dry, 9:40 in the wet, and by the end of the race, such was the rain level, they were doing in excess of 10-minute lap times. It was quite extraordinary. I've never seen anything like it. Aiden Luthwaite off the road. Aiden Luthwaite is off the road. He gets back going. He keeps second spot, but now Ryan Jones is breathing down his neck. And off goes Richard King. I never got back to finish the point. Even though Porsche remains the dominant manufacturer here, Joe, as Richard King bowls it off at turn 12, it's good to be able to associate a corner with the incident. It's good to see that all 5 manufacturers have got some love, because FYI, Trent forgot to... Oh, no. No wipers for Trent. Thank you. That'll be Adam Lavis chiming in there, throwing his brother under the bus any day of the week. Yeah.
Okay, it's showing the wipers are going on the onboard, but that could be an iRacing graphical thing. Yeah. Because it's not his replay file, so it's probably going to show that on all the cars that the wipers are going. Oi.
I had no wipers either, says Johnny Harris. Ryan Jones, have a look at this. Visibility 0. He tried to go to the outside at 1. Are you kidding me, Jonesy? Or was he just looking for a little bit of clear air out of the spray? Recommend not watching lap 27-28 from GT Masters Racing. Williams, yep, righto, copy that.
Going down
So
in my
that's
little
exactly
note.
what we're going to be watching. Yep, correct. So 10 laps
what's your number,
time,
Liam?
we'll be watching that. On the run down to turn 3 we go. GT4 the other night, we had no McLaren. All the other of the 6 manufacturers, the other 5 were all represented on the grid. GT3, you're regularly seeing that there's a few manufacturers just not getting a run at all, cars being left in the garage. Here, you've got something from all available options. The Chev, the Bimmer, the Ford, the Ferrari, and the Porsche, which is really good to see, Joe. That's been one of the fascinating elements of this for mine. And as I say, I haven't had a chance to check in with the series terribly much throughout the course of this season. This is the first time I've actually had the chance to call it with you. Liam Banks has been doing a great job, obviously, taking up the weight with Friday Night Motorsport while I've been, of course, reassigned to Wednesday. But to see such a spread of manufacturers, that's pleasing.
So Ryan's giving us a bit of a heads up.
Down onto the main straight at Phillip Island we go. Gardner straight to Doohan corner. Ryan, tell your teammate to get out of the road. So that's Johnny Harris talking to Brendan Grosh, if Brendan's tuning in. Good to see more Fords, keen to give it a run next season if we run GTEs again. But that's the point. We're almost at that time of the campaign where the committee will have no doubt had a discussion regarding what Turn 2 is going to look like, Joe. And there will be some change. There always is. And there's no guarantee that we're going to be as loaded with broadcasts as what we were last term. That's the early mail I got from Matt Schmidtke the other night. But the more things change, the more they stay the same. I dare say GT4, GT3, Porsches and supercars retain their place. It'll be interesting to see what fills the rest of the schedule out.
Yeah, I've had to miss a couple of little things going on at home. I haven't been to the last couple of meetings, so I haven't had a lot of input on what's going to go on next season. I actually don't even know what the go is. So I'll definitely be the next one, though, because I want to get across it. So.
Heaney's already had the discussion, so that's VP reporting for duty, letting us know that yes, the discussion has been had, and I dare say the decisions have been made, and looking forward to that. Formula V, no. Sorry, did I just say that out loud? I'm sorry. I shouldn't be airing personal requests on air like that. Stephen Bull, Aidan Lukewaite, Ryan Jones, Brendan Grosh. And if iRacing ever bring the Hyundai XL to this caper, that's got to be a main course offering, I'm just saying. Ryan Jones, Brendan Grosh, Jonathan Harris, Adam Lavis, Trent Lavis, Jeff Adams, Eduardo Zamora, Derek Fitzgerald. Oh, Dave Oliver has dropped off the face of the planet. Dave Oliver's had a packet loss. Again, highlighting what Jordan Dakin was talking about earlier as well. Jonathan Harris joining my call for Formula V, which is good. I'm glad I've got some moral support on that. Thank you, mate. Here's Harris in 5th spot at the moment, having a good run. Porsche 1, 3, 4, 5 and 10 at the moment. 2 Fords, a Bimmer, a Chev and a Ferrari in that top 10 at the moment. We've got through the first round of pit stops. Do we have another one? Probably not. The lap times have dropped off to the tune of about 10 seconds on where we were on outright pace earlier in the dry. Liam Haycock bowling it off the road again, coming onto the main straight, but he gets back going all right. Can we bring up the weather and information board on the right-hand side of the screen there, please, Joe, just to let everybody at home know what's happened to the deterioration of the circuit there? That's the one I'm looking for. 10:05 local server time, 11 kilometre an hour winds in a now mostly south to southwesterly, west to southwesterly direction. 19 degrees the ambient, 17 on track and moderately wet. There was no lightly wet about that. It just went from dry to moderately, bang, and 27%. Adam was saying to me the other night, we think that's the intensity of the rain, the level of the wetness. Because we're trying to work that out. The other night with regards to the Nürburgring. He said that rain graphic, he thinks it's rain intensity. So 27%. Hopefully we won't be seeing anywhere near the 100% that we got at the Nürburgring on the final lap the other night when we got into overtime. That 70-minute, 60-minute enduro. And hello, Jonesy. Good to have you tuning in. Actually, nice of you to actually get some early acquaintance with Penguin Island. You'll be there next weekend, won't you? And if you didn't get the memo this morning, ladies and gentlemen, full day coverage, all the on-track coverage next week from the Shannon Speed Series opener on Fox Sports and KO around Australia. Both days, Saturday and Sunday. So I think it starts about 9:10 Eastern Daylight Time all the way through till about 5 o'clock. So nearly 8 hours both days, 16 hours for the weekend. Shannon Speed Series back in business for this season. Nowhere near as much moaning and groaning and whinging and you know what as what there was when the last pay TV deal was done on this series. But the problem that I've got with that, Joe, is there's no consistency with Motorsport fans. It's all in on Fox and KO, or they don't want to hear about it. Because the last time round, the Nine Network, who had the rights with Stan, of course, Nine still showed free-to-air coverage of every round, twice or 2 hours a day or 2 hours a weekend. Maybe it was one day, maybe it was two. There were a couple of different deals doing the rounds there. 2022 and 2023, they differed a little bit. Have a look at how wet that has become at Phillip Island now. How many series do we have now in Oz? Well, we'll try and do the maths for you, Johnny, and we'll see how that goes before the end of the broadcast here. We've got another 26 minutes. That's enough time to get the notepad out and make some dot points. And there was still free-to-air highlights of every round of the Shannon Speed Series under the Nine deal. Now, it's exclusively and only behind a paywall. Get Foxtel or, don't see anything at all apart from result sheets and news reports. So there's no consistency to the Motorsport fans. They'll all have their opinions on that, but obviously the big news out of the Shannon Speed Series is one of its former categories has now been laid to rest this week. TCR South Australia confirming that it wasn't going to go ahead in 2026. No packet loss. It was a car killed into the wall. Thank you, Dave Oliver, for that confirmation. Appreciate that. So it wasn't the escape back to pit lane. It was just the rage quit. Okay, copy that. Down the main straight we go. This is getting hairy. Alt F forward. Yep, that's it. 3 wide into 1. Oh, trouble and gone. There goes David Hayne. And that's a big one. Massive shunt, massive moment, and he's down on the escape road. He's done the old Cameron McConville. And I don't know who that was that went straight past him then, whether it was Richard King or Greg Heaney or Paul Wood, but someone's gone through and only barely missed, clean bowling him on the way through. Greg Heaney it was, thank you, Joe. My goodness, 3-1, that was never going to work.
I just missed the transfer. I knew that was coming, but yeah, I just missed getting on board with Greg to see... that was about 4 inches. He did get I think a 0X or a 1X for that one, for Greg. But nothing for poor old Dave Hayne. Looks like he's gone to the pub after that one.
That was massive. That meatballed Ryan Jones, by the way, for paper mache damage. Yep. Paper mache Shazzy. Code brown for Greg Heaney. The brown flag is out. Oh dear. So that meatball Jonesy. So that rubs Jonesy out of business. And who was the other willing participant in all of that? I'm just trying to make sense of that.
David Hayne.
Yeah, Aidan Luthwaite was the other one.
No, Ryan Jones was one who he got into him at the end of the straight there. And went across the nose of Jonesy, which speared him out. He just missed the fence and just missed just about everything on track, I think. And the only thing he didn't hit was the pace car.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to work out who the third car was, whether it was the car that was a lap down or whether there was a third car on that shot. We'll have a look when we get to the replay. So Jonesy, Hayne, and somebody else. Aidan was the inside. Yeah, it was Aidan. Yeah, it was Aidan. Yep. So I had that right. That's good. I feel a lot better now. That's Schmidtke off the road. Oh no, Schmitty's off the road. What's going on here, please?
Here he is.
Here he is, coming out of the southern loop on the run down to turn 3.
Schmitty, what are you doing, lad? Look, to be fair, these
the conditions are diabolical.
Are just, monstrous. Like the commitment level and the concentration level just to keep it on track would just be off the scale. So I love this sort of racing. I think that back in my go-karting days, back in the late 90s, 2000, whenever I used to do a rain dance at the track, I just loved it. And this is pre-wet weather tyres in Australian go-karting. We used to have to run slicks in wet weather.
Yeah.
And I had a bit of a setup. I used to throw in the cart. I used to pump the tyres up to about 50 pounds each and turn the back wheels inside out and pull them in and put the fronts all the way out and stick a couple of teeth on or a tooth on the front sprocket just to kill a bit of engine power. And I used to love it. It was so much fun racing in the rain, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But then they added money and wet weathers and.
Yeah, Martin Davis and Rodney Gollan off the road briefly there. Martin's rejoined the circuit, wedged in between Liam Haycock and Jordan Pianazzola. Off goes Aidan Luthwaite. There were two comments there. Dave Oliver saying that he's off to play 10-pin bowling with the Penguins. Good luck with that, son. And Matt Schmidtke saying, just don't even bother following me for the rest of this race. It's almost as bad as his efforts in the Porsche on Thursday. And to be fair, the weather not too far dissimilar to that either. We love the Tempest weather system and we love how it's reinvented the wheel, but there are some nights where I'm sure you blokes hop out of the cockpit very glad to have got through the punishment, the assignment at hand. And Stephen Bull, Aidan Luthwaite, Jonathan Harris, the top three here at the moment. Harris under pressure from Grosh. Lavis and Jones arguing over fifth at the moment, and Jonesy gets through on the inside. Nicely done. And that's on the back of his second stop, of course, for the meatball for the fast repair. Lavis trying to bowl it back down on the inside. Porsche V Ford here. Lavis working without wipers, as we know. Adam Lavis has already dobbed him in there. He's not the only one. Rain continuing to hammer down at the island. Hope you're enjoying our replay. Round 9 action. Disruptive Labs GTE, the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, exclusive and free across YouTube and Facebook this Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning. It's just gone morning tea time there on the West Coast. Cup of tea and a biscuit for you after the broadcast, Joe?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Probably going to have a little bit of lunch and, a bit of a lie down maybe. A bit too much excitement for me.
Absolutely. It's certainly livened me up. I won't go back to sleep now for the balance of the afternoon. Once the adrenaline's pumping, mate, and kicking, I'm set. Liam Haycock. Go for it.
He might have said that he had something go on lap 27, so we'll keep an eye on Liam and what happens here.
Yes, we're on lap 27 now. Trent Lavis off the road, Aidan Luthwaite off the road. Lavis off the road at 1. Or is it 2?
It's just got something to do with it.
And Haycock to MG through turn 11. He's following Jordan Pianazzola at the moment. Let's wait and see. Main straight. Oh, actually, hang on. Pianazzola's gone. Pianazzola's off the road. He's gone wide whilst Haycock has gone through. And now Haycock is heading down the main straight. Rodney Gollan in pursuit. Lap 27 for these guys underway now. Down to turn 1. Carries a bit of speed into Doohan corner for the first time. Interesting to note as well, look through this field, everyone down to Jordan Pianazzola still on the lead lap. That's the top 16. Greg Heaney's just gone a lap down, so too Paul Wood, Russell Gander, Joel and Hansen. And Matt Schmidtke is 2 laps down, and so too is Cooper Friend. David Hayne done for the night, you would imagine. May have been 28. Okay, we'll stay with you, Liam. He's just, he might be selling us a bum steer just to get some screen time. I don't know. Stephen Bull, Aidan Luthwaite and John Harris, the top 3.
I love it with all the producers in the chat channel. It's great.
You've never had so many associate producers, directors and editors and whatever else in your life. It's fantastic.
Right. He's had a bit of a slip. Where is he? Here he is. He's slipped off.
There he is. Don't worry, folks. We'll go back and have a look at some of the incidents on replay as soon as we're done here. We'll spin the wheel before we do that, though, because we want to give you guys as much time to prepare for tonight as possible. Then, of course, and Joe's probably still got to set the server up yet, actually. And then get stuck into bringing you a full rundown of what's ahead for Week 10 action, Term 1, 2023. 26, the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. And thankfully, when we get to Term 2, we'll only be contending with a 2-hour time lapse between the East and West Coast, and no 112-year time lapse between New South Wales and Queensland. Oh, off goes Trent Lavis. Had a four-pack of monsters during the race, did Johnny Harris. What size cans are we talking about there, John? What size cans? The small ones or the big monsters, if you'll pardon the expression? 28 laps in. Here's Liam Haycock on the exit of the Southern Loop. We're keeping an eye on him. Jonathan Harris off the road now. And Brendan Grosh as well. So Harris is going to go through to third. Grosh had only just got back by. And Harris, oh, jeez, goes back to third. Grosh to fourth. There is Jeff Adams hounding Adam Lavis. They're well clear. They're not going to pose any threat to Ryan Jones at the moment. Porsche 1, 3, 4 and 5. What was that saying about 2 litres of monsters? And Jesus. Well done, Johnny. Thank you. Onto the main straight we go. They're not going to hassle Ryan Jones. He's 12 seconds up the road, but the top 5 aren't going to hassle anyone because they're so far spread out at the moment. This is the closest battle on the racetrack. And Jeff Adams has just been passed there on the inside by lap traffic.
Couldn't get any crazier. You got lead lap cars getting passed by lap. Oh, no.
Schmitty's wide. He said not to check back in with him. Schmitty off the road, gets back going. Need to stay hydrated. Yeah, that's exactly right. I bet the back teeth were floating by the end of that race with 4 of them on board though, John. 16 minutes to go here, folks. Hard to believe, isn't it? We've crammed a lot of action into 44 minutes so far. Here is Jordan Pianazzola. We're still keeping an eye on Liam Haycock. It may have been lap 29 because it doesn't look like he had any issue on 27 or 28. So we'll keep an eye on that. He stopped on lap 16, of course. We believe everybody's going to be right to go to the checkered flag. Lap time's still about 10 seconds south of where they were earlier in the piece in the dry conditions for the first 16, 17 minutes of proceedings. And as soon as that rain band hit, everybody very quickly, there was no real transitional phase. There was no real crossover. It was everybody dive straight to the lane, grab the wets. And you can see why there, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Greg Heaney. And off goes Aidan Luthwaite. But he's got it back going. But see, that's the thing. Aidan's such a bloody star performer that he's the only BMW in the top 10, right? And more than that, it's great to see him back in Whiskey Business colours. We know that too. He's the only one that's come within an earshot of the race leader, Stephen Bull, tonight.
Yeah, he has. He's carrying great pace. Steve Bull, like I said, yeah, at the top of the broadcast.
Bobby Camo. Yeah, so that might have been with Liam Haycock case. Haycock's gone past, Gollan's gone past, Davis has gone past, and Bobby Camo has fallen back to 14th. That might have been what Liam was talking about. How good does the RSR sound, says Greg Heaney. I sure hope nothing bad happens with 7 minutes to go, says John Harris. Thanks for another spot. Oh, no, there goes Liam Haycock, main straight, parked. Up against the pit wall, on the driver's left, and the rear wing has added company with the motor car, and that's going to be a lonely drive back to pit lane for Liam Haycock. Come on, Liam, it was actually like 29, mate.
Oh,
in fact, he's not even going to drive it, he's just going to tow immediately.
I hope he's not doing his own tax returns when he's that far off with numbers. Putting Pianazzola off the track at the moment as well, and so too Rodney Gollan. Track alerts lighten up everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Highlights still to come. Then we'll get stuck into the wheel spin, and of course the championship points update. I've taught Joe a trick or two with regards to that this afternoon, and then also courtesy of Adam Lavis and previous experience, and then also a look ahead to week 10. Make a note. Week 10 gets underway earlier time, 7:25 Eastern Daylight Time across the board, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, in terms of the entrees being 15 minutes earlier to incorporate 15 minutes more of on-track activity. And, of course, then we get stuck into Friday Night Motorsport, a 90-minute enduro, and that will kick in at 5:30 Western, 8:30 Eastern for you as per usual. So no change to Friday, but earlier starts the rest of the week through.
12 and a half minutes to go. We're keeping an eye out around about the 53-minute mark for John Harris. Liam Haycock on pit road on the tow rope. That's a lonely, lonely tow because he'd just gone past pit entry. And so it's a full lap tow. There's no escaping that for him. And Ryan Jones, by the way, on a tear here. So the red mist has descended. He wasn't happy about the mechanical. And now this is the result. He's driving like a man possessed. 133.159. He's the fastest bloke on the racetrack. And by a long way. 133.3 for Aidan Luthwaite, 135.0 for Stephen Bull last time through. But Jonesy's in the 32s now. 32.6 in the wet. He's driving like a man possessed. A man on a mission. Is the podium still within striking distance? Well, if it goes belly up for John O'Harris like he's suggesting it might, then maybe a podium is on for Ryan Jonesy, but he must get past Brendan Grosh, who's his next assignment. It's his teammate. Will there be any love lost here? Will there be team orders? We're not sure. Oh, Grosh just lets him go. Oh, and nearly sacrificed himself. Oh. He had two wheels so far over that ripple strip, I reckon he kicked up a bit of dirt. Madness. Absolute madness.
We've made 32 laps without any real major carnage.
Except for pit lane.
Yeah, pit lane, that's right. There may have been a bit of a spear across for David Hayne, who exited chat, where Greg Heaney managed to survive that one. But up to now, like, there's been, unfortunately, Jonesy, he got caught up in that, but that's fired him up for what's a brilliant drive to this point. I'm not sure exactly how far he's going to get as Cooper Friends off the track again. We're big. List is long. Here he is. Oh, just
there we go.
He's off again.
Oh, he's gone. You've done the old Grant Gill.
Oh.
The old Gilly trick. Put somebody on the camera and they go pirouetting. Or it all goes up in smoke. They go into the wall, they go into the kitty litter. If you don't want to be on broadcast, don't get an off-track alert, essentially.
Yeah, or if you don't want to be on broadcast, send money to bribes at Joe Trucker at iRacing. And I won't do it, and you'll stay on track.
That's it, exactly.
He's giving Jeffrey Adams.
Oh, here we go. Trent Lavis to 8th. Adam Lavis. So, Lavis, Adams. This is interesting, though, because Jeffrey's been relegated by the two Lavis boys. Adams ahead of Trent for the moment, and they're both in the Fords. This is a V8 battle, ladies and gentlemen, essentially. That old Holden versus Ford, Chev versus Ford as it is nowadays. That's what's on your screen at the moment. It's Lavis, and Adams in behind. The three green machines, and Adams very close to the tail end of Trent's machine there at the moment. So, with only, what have we got now? 9 minutes to go, so about 6 laps at the line. So 39 laps is going to be your bingo card tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
For most.
39, 6 laps to go. So we've probably only lost 3 laps in all of that based on wet to dry transit. And Aidan Luthwaite at the moment coming down the main straight. 10.7 seconds there. The margin first to second at the moment. Jonesy's got 4.9 to try and reel in John Harris. This battle's spicy. This is 6th, 7th and 8th. These guys are duking it out for the final, for the lower half of the top 10. 6th, 7th and 8th at the moment. With 6 laps to go, as I said, as they hit the line. Golden Slipper Day as well at Rose Hill, ladies and gentlemen. Plenty of sport on. We'll squeeze in a quick round the grounds update for you as soon as we get a chance. And we are 8 1/4 minutes from home. It's all been Stephen Bull tonight. He will be the champion-elect. And that's the unfortunate thing for my dear colleague, my ally here in the GSRC broadcast booth, Liam Banks. He has to have the afternoon off because he was bound by obligations with his missus, and I get to come in and call the championship moment. That's just bad luck, unfortunately, for Liam. Oh, Cooper Friend again. .67 says John Harris.
6-7.
I don't know why he's saying that at this particular point in time, though. Maybe that's the amount of incident alerts, or maybe that's the rain intensity at the moment. Oh, no, there we go. There's John Harris now. That's the moment. That's the moment he was talking about. Off the road at turn 11, and Harris goes down to position number 5. He's lucky, though. That's lap traffic behind him. He's got 21 seconds on Adam Lavis, Trent Lavis and co. So unless he makes another seriously bad mistake, he shouldn't lose his spot in the top 5. And all of a sudden, Jonesy's turned deficit into profit, but he's off the road at 2. He's off at the Southern Loop. Maybe he still doesn't want to grab onto that podium berth.
Hey, Cooper, if it was easy, mate, everyone would be doing it.
Jeez.
You were net-coded, were you, Johnny?
Jonesy net-coded me, trust me. Yeah, right. I like it. Nothing else happened. Well, we'll be the judge of that, because Joe will be showing some highlights and some replays very shortly. He's jotting down all the incident alerts to run them on a reel for you, ladies and gentlemen, very shortly. Rodney Gollan there in 14th at the moment. I mean, credit where it's due to these guys. I don't know where we are with regards to rain intensity, Joe. You might be able to bring that that graphic back up for us over the top of the comments there, mate.
No, not that one.
No, not that one. 0% intensity in the rain at the moment, but obviously the damage has already been done, so it's gone back to lightly wet, but we're not going to get to a point where the track's bone dry, so these guys will stay on the wets for the balance of the evening. 9 seconds of margin first to second. It's only 4 laps to go. Are you kidding me? I made one mistake in the last 30 minutes. How did you pick that up? Yes, exactly, Jonesy. Just good luck, mate. Just really good luck. Although that being said, there's a spoiler alert. Apparently Jonesy has a faultless run to the rest of the time out on track here to the checkered flag. Did you manage to catch the lap 9 turn 1 incident went 4 wide into it? No, we've got that on the catch-up list, mate. We'll get to that very shortly. Schmitty had already alluded us to that. Here's Adam Lavis in 7th under pressure from Jeff Adams now. Well, Adams, have a look on the inside. These two are good gentlemen like racers, and their teammates. Sorry, no, they're not teammates, but they're, of course, good rivals out there on the racetrack. They've gone door-to-door before. They do race cleanly. Jeff won't take a risk unless the move is absolutely on. But there is some correlation there between Jeff and also Adam's teammate, Matt Schmidtke. That's where I'm getting my wires crossed, because Schmidtke is one of those cross-team racers. He runs mostly with Aussie races, but does 1 or 2 with Greg's stable. And Jeff's now doing the same as well with Whiskey Business. But he most commonly is, of course, under the subpar racing banner. So swings and roundabouts, but it's good to see that we do have a couple of those drivers that aren't team exclusive. They are allowed to be shared around, a bit like network talent these days when you look at someone like a Sam Pang, but popping up on 7 for the Logies in the front bar and 10 for Have You Been Paying Attention, and of course his own show. Trying to make that correlation. There goes Rodney Gollan off. Massive shot for Rodney Gollan. And how did that happen? More to the point. Did he get some help on the run into the final corner? We'll find out very shortly, but that rear wing's gone, and that car, he's able to drive it away, but it looks a lot worse for wear.
No, I think he was
Rodney Gollan was sitting down there in position number 12 when that happened. He's lost 3 spots, Joe.
Yeah, we're actually on board. Looks like he just got into one of the puddles, and yeah, it's just the rear end got away from him. As we've got the Lavis boys are closing down on him now as he's coming into turn 1. But yeah,
they're about to put him a lap down, I think.
Yeah, they are. But no, he just got in there and the rear end broke away, and that was the end of it for him. There
he is. Yep, I was just going to say, Matty Schmidtke's had another off-track moment, and now Gollan's out there in sympathy on the outside. Whoa! Adam Lavis and Jeff Adams slicing and dicing their way through the middle. Obviously, no yellow flags on their screen at the moment.
That'll get the heart rate up.
Wouldn't it?
Oh.
And for Gollan and Schmidtke as well. What the hell is going on here? Oh, my goodness. Stephen Bull, Aidan Luthwaite, Ryan Jones, Brendan Grosh, and John Harris, the top 5. Can Harris get back by Grosh? The final few stages. 2 to go at the line. Stephen Bull's on the run home. And he has been clinical and commanding and dominant from first until last tonight. Not really challenged, let's be honest. He had a 1.5 second advantage on the field after the end of the opening lap, and he's just gone on with it. It's been a faultless drive. It's been a clinical performance. And now here comes Harris and Grosh side by side to one. Grosh holds on for now. This is not over, and Jeff Adams is still hounding Adam Lavis as well. Round they come. Just go on board with me, says John Harris. We'll do that, yep. Let's do that, why not? On board with Harris. Here we go, down the inside, here we go. Jonathan Harris to the inside of Brendan Grosh. Up and under, Grosh goes back. Door handle to door handle, they exchange paint. And Grosh goes back through. This is not over. 11.5 to go. And to be fair, there haven't been too many great on-track battles to talk about tonight, Joe. It's been mainly incidents and other factors, but this has been a lively exchange in the closing stages. Bobby Camo off the road at the moment. Cooper Friend on pit road. Looks like we're going to have 19 finishes and 20 classified at the line. And I'll crunch the numbers on 75% distance in just a moment, but I reckon you've got to get 30 laps done here as Stephen Bull sees the white flag and begins the final lap. The run home, 4.448 kilometres to go. Back to Jonathan Harris we go. Right, Ryan Jones has gone to second. Ryan Jones has gone to second. Now, how's that happened, more to the point? Aiden Luthwaite's ripped up somewhere, has he maybe? Jonesy has gone to second. So Jones has recovered to second. Had it not been for the moment that we saw earlier that triggered the paper mache-esque mechanical black flag to be yanked on him and that extra transit down the lane, this could have been Jonesy's race for the taking. And he'll feel as though he's been denied cruelly by the iRacing powers that be. Well, our good mate from down there at DPR Racing. Down the inside goes Harris again. Does he have a bit more success second time round? Yes, he does. He keeps Grosh at bay. So Porsche 1, 2, 4 and 5. DPR with 2 in the 5 and everybody else with 1. Only one BMW in the top 10. It's Aiden Luthwaite in third. But here comes Stephen Bull, ladies and gentlemen. Out of MG for the final time, towards the final corner. He'll see the checkered flag, and that is match point, ladies and gentlemen. It's game, set, match. It's Stephen Bull, victorious in 2026 in the Term 1 Disruptive Labs GTE Championship on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Jonesy comes home with an absolute blinder of a run to the checkered flag and only finishes 7 seconds in arrears. Aiden Luthwaite third. John Harris holds up. Brendan Grosh, yes. And then Trent Lavis, Adam Lavis, and Jeff Adams will be the next to cross the line. Lavis has given himself a little bit of breathing space from Mav and Adams in the final few stages here. Solid run from Trent, up 18 spots from 24th on the grid. Solid hustle. Adam Lavis in for 7th, Jeff Adams 8th, Derek Fitzgerald and Eduardo Zamora is going to make up the top 10, but we're waiting a while for all those guys to come round, Joe. This field's so spread out, as you can see on your track map there, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of these guys still making their way around to see the checkered flag. Let's have a look here.
It's still a battle, though, for 9th.
It is, absolutely. Only 10 cars home on the lead lap. Martin Davis, Jordan Pianazzola, Greg Heaney, Paul Wood, Bobby Camo, and Russell Gander all a lap down. So too Rodney Gowan. And moral victory. Ryan Jones playing the role of Pierce Morgan this afternoon on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. How about that? Well done to Stephen Bull. Well done to Jonesy. That was a magnificent drive, mate. And be happy with that. And enjoy the Speed Series next week right there at the gateway to hypothermia. There it is for you, ladies and gentlemen. As we say, only the top 10 on the lead lap in the M. Now, I just want to crunch some numbers here. Cooper Friend is showing as 8 laps down. That should be enough to get him classified, having completed he almost got to the end of lap 32, quite frankly. And 29.25 is where you needed to get to be classified. So 30 laps needed to be complete, which rules Liam Haycock out by half a lap, or a lap actually, in rounded up. So that's unfortunate for him. So 20 cars classified, and everybody else a DNF. I'll go back through 11 to 20. It was Davis, Pianazzola, Heaney, Wood, Camo, Gander, Golan. Then Jolan Hansen, Matt Schmidtke, less than desirable run home for Schmidty by his own liking. And Cooper Friend there in behind him. Haycock, King, Hayne, Oliver, Azzopardi, Donaldson and Lewis round out a long list of retirements tonight in round 9 of Disruptive Labs. GTE from the gateway to hypothermia. Righto, Joe, we'll have a look at some highlights in a moment, mate, but the most important part of business that we've got to take care of here is the wheel spin for tonight. What are we ripping and tearing around in the Mount Panorama Circuit in Bathurst for 32 laps from 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time, please?
All right, so the key, I know there's a couple of guys there. Jolien, he is going to be on the edge of his seat right now, so here you go, lad.
Ooh.
Tonight, MtnMen.
Wait for it. Oh.
Late models.
There you go.
They are so much fun.
I was so gunning for TCR just to, I would have thought it would have been a fitting send-off given that they've pulled the pin on the South Australian Series this week. I have no idea how they were going to label it TCR Australia and have it solely based in South Australia. They were going to try and claim a national series when really it was only being relegated to state status, and it was on the defibrillator anyway. So no, they've laid that to rest. And a little bit too late, unfortunately. And I'm not happy to see it either. I mean, that was a category where it just fell victim to the COVID pandemic as far as I'm concerned. It had all the momentum in the world after 2019. There was a lot of interest. There was a big vibe on it. There were a lot of drivers, manufacturers on board, etc. And then it just fell to the proverbial because of, not helped by 2 years of bureaucratical politics led by dictator Dan Andrews, Emperor Mark McGowan, and of course Anastasia Palaszczuk up here in Queensland. So yes, the late model Trans Am for you tonight as we have a look at some race highlights now for you from Disruptive Labs GTE. This was Jordan Pianazzola.
That was a big number.
At turn 1. We wondered what the hell happened at turn 1 to rub 5 cars out on the lead lap and have Paul Wood come in for the broken car and the fast repair. There was a lot going on there, so that was Pianazzola's involvement in all of that. He got back on the black stuff and obviously ended up being able to recover, which was not too bad. Matt Schmidtke. Oh, it happened behind Schmidtke, did it? Yes, it did. There it is. Oh, no.
Oh, so yeah, right. So he's gone out of the way there. That's where there's a big bunch of guys there on lap 1. So that's pretty much covered that one. So the next main incident here was Russell Gander on lap 2. Oh, so he just got into the... Oh,
there was someone there and he just went out in sympathy.
Dave Oliver, I think it might have been.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because Oliver did come in at the end of lap 2.
This was Oliver, and
couldn't get out of the road quick enough, Dave.
If it doesn't rain, it pours, doesn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
What's our next one? Jeff Adams has had a bit of a thing here. What did Jeffrey do?
Lukey Heights. Too deep. Oh, no, he got help. He got help. He got hip and shouldered. Was that Liam Haycock again?
That was Liam Haycock.
Jeez, he was in the thick of all of it tonight, wasn't he?
He was.
He paid to drive the circuit, and he also toured every single other piece of the real estate involved with the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit as well. The grass, the dirt, the gravel, you name it. Liam's seen every piece of it, didn't
He had another... All the little ones, but we'll just sort of cover off on the main one. So Russell Gander, he's had a bit of a... Okay, so that was a red crash, apparently. That's all right, we'll get there. Gander's had a bit of...
I love it.
Gander? Oh, I do know on lap 23 we got one there to cover with Mr.
Absolutely. Did we get pool shot? They call it. They call that, right? Yeah. Exactly. Did we get by any chance that moment that they were talking about on lap 7, whereby the drivers went 4 wide into turn 1. I'd love to see that if we can drag it up. I know we're pressed for time, but lap 7, Matt Schmidt and a few others. That didn't come up on your incident alerts? No.
I reckon
Righto, you do that.
7.
Right, so that was, I think they said it was lap 7. Correct me if I'm wrong, boys, but let me know.
Okay.
Have a look. Schmitty was involved in a couple of others. Let's have a look here. So this is not 4 wide per se. No.
This is lap 7.
Right, so it might have been, they might have had their numbers wrong, or I might have not remembered it right. But yes, there was a little bit of 4 wide action, I'm reliably informed. A little bit later on. I know it got referenced twice. We didn't see it. So we'll have to have another look.
For 8, maybe. It looks like there was a bit of passing.
Yeah, righto. Next one after. Okay, lap 9. There we go. Cooper Friend. So watch Cooper Friend there. So he was involved in the thick of it as well. Greg Heaney, Matt Schmidtke.
This is lap 9, this one.
Here we go. 4. Oh, yeah, you can see how it's going to happen, can't you? Have a look at this. Schmidt. Oh, no. Schmidtke's moved across. Oh. See, 5 wide there in the Formula V's was pretty spectacular, but that takes the cake. Four wide in the GTEs, and they held it, and they kept it clean, and no one ended up going for an excursion off the racetrack. That's pretty well done, boys. I'll pay that. And I don't know who the blue car was on the inside there, coming up behind Matt Schmidtke now, relegating him to 18th. Can we get an ident on who that was? Derek Fitzgerald, maybe? No, Rodney Golan. But Rodney, you may have seen at the very start of that, Rodney's on the inside, but Schmidtke sees him there and says, righto, mate, I need you to go right and right and right some more. So in order for Schmidtke to be able to get across, Rodney Golan, who's obviously come undone there, Rodney's had to be alert to Schmidtke moving closer towards him, and had the onus and had the foresight to actually go further right himself and allow Schmidtke to... That was the incident on pit lane. There's Jordan Pianazzola getting stuck straight smack bang into Matt Schmidtke, and watch Eli Donaldson play a small role in this as well. Bang. Okay, so there it is from the wrong angle again.
That bloody camera.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what. We're going to go this camera here. And
here we go. 3, 2, 1, bang.
You didn't
so Pianazzola's obviously not... No, Pianazzola obviously not aware of where the line was, the control line was, or he's trying to leave it to the last possible second to slam on the brakes, and he's misjudged Schmidtke getting on the anchors a little bit earlier. Something hasn't gone right there. Bang, yeah. So, and Eli Donaldson was already there. Eli Donaldson had already cocked that up. So we need to go and have a look at Eli.
So now we get more of an idea of what's going on here. So Eli's touched the grass.
Yeah.
Oh, that bloody camera. Oh, he got right into the end of the fence there too.
He got the concrete, bang, and Schmidtke's gone in sympathy because he's got poleaxed from the car in behind, Pianazzola, and then everybody else has just arrived on scene. So, okay, so Eli Donaldson getting on the anchors. Oh,
he just slid off on the... Yeah, okay.
That's the 10-pin bowling that Dave Oliver was talking about. He didn't have to go and do it with the Penguins. He could do it with race cars.
Hang on, I need to be able to tee up the Benny Hill thing right there.
Yeah, and then have a look at how much of a logjam that then becomes, because Greg Heaney arrives on site there as well. So you've got 5 cars all try, and Heaney's done an overtake on the pit lane. That's cheeky. That's cheeky. Very cheeky. So, yeah, wow. Okay, so Donaldson... It's just seized up. It's locked up on him. He was a passenger because it didn't look like he had any wheels on the dirt or on the line or anything like that. Nothing untoward. And he's just locked up.
Just a big understeer off.
And not being able to steer it left, and bang, straight into the concrete. Derek Fitzgerald, for the moment there, we're now resuming the highlights reel that Joe had already pre-organised, ladies and gentlemen. So apologies for the detour there, but I'm glad we're able to paint those 2 pictures. The 4 wide through 1, that's spectacular.
That was brilliant.
And that really requires a high level of trust and also generally etiquette from your fellow drivers to be able to make something like that happen. Matt Schmidtke, pretty sure I was going to be okay, but the punt gave me the 40 seconds chopping. Then almost binned it out of the... yes, we saw that too, Greg. We saw that live, actually. You almost binning it on the return to the racetrack. Oh, my goodness me. Rodney Gollan was in the thick of it tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing what happened to trip the rollover in a moment, but that for Rodney over at Lukey Heights, just another one of his moments. That's the second one, actually, that we've seen him come unstuck at Lukey Heights on. Cooper Friend, too deep into into Honda, which is now known as Miller Corner, and again, I don't know why. If he was a world champion like a Wayne Gardner or a Mick Doohan, I'd get it, but, you know, I think he's won maybe one MotoGP in his lifetime.
Now, this is the moment.
Right, David Hayne. Oh, now, can we get the onboard angle with Ryan Jones for that one? And there's Greg Heaney. Oh, heart in your mouth moment there. Would not have been expecting that. Righto, so let's have another look at it. So we're on board with Ryan Jones here. That's how far ahead Heaney was of all the action. He was already on the main straight. These guys were just coming onto the main straight. So we're riding on board with Jonesy. So he's gone to the inside to buy some clear air, but still has the spray from another car in front. There's a bang there. There was the first bang there.
Wrong one. Wrong car,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're right. The first bang came. There's Greg Heaney. 3, 2, 1. Whooshka. Oh! Every time you look at it, it just gets more impressive.
It does.
What about this for evasive action? Unbelievable. But yeah, there was definitely the minorest of touches, and I don't think you can appoint blame or attribute blame to anyone on that because poor old Hayne wouldn't have seen. So there's Paul Wood just ahead of them. That's is that Adam Lavis or Jeff Adams?
His view.
Wild ride, 3, 2, and he can't pull it up there at the moment.
Not on the grass there.
He is a dead set passenger, and then it's launched across the racetrack, and obviously would have had all slide downs and penalties being handed towards him. But have a look at it here. So it's that move there. So it was a little move, and all it was, I reckon, was a knee-jerk reaction to being made aware of the presence of the green car on the inside. And Greg is still the luckiest man in the server as a result of being able to not get absolutely poleaxed and wiped out by that. But we shouldn't joke, because really, if that was a real-world incident and there was the inevitable contact, you'd be talking fatalities. And that's the unfortunate reality of the danger of what we do.
About as here's the
Liam Haycock, that was his moment. Bang, yeah. Very light, very soft, very gentle compared to some of the other moments we've seen, but still enough to do the damage required to put him on the tow rope. And then Rodney Gollan's moment, another one at 1. They pirouette well, the Porsches, don't they?
They do. One here for Cooper Friend.
This was down at MG. And that was mild and innocent. And isolated, self-inflicted. John Harris now. There we go.
Whoa.
So I'm also interested to find out what happened to Aidan Luthwaite to prompt Ryan Jones up a spot. I'm trying to remember who the hell it was too, by the way. It might have been Luthwaite. It was Luthwaite, sorry. My apologies. I was trying to work out who the green car was, and then I was like, it's the only BMW in the top 10. It was Aidan Luthwaite. So, yeah, Luthwaite's obviously gone down on the inside, which has jolted Hayne, which is then he's gone ever so gradually to the left. Minorest contact with Ryan Jones. Bang. Hayne gets sent right across the infield.
Aidan Luthwaite, here's your moment.
At Honda, just too wide on the grass, yep. Passenger. And to be fair, Jonesy was already reeling him in at a rapid rate of knots. There's nothing to suggest that he wouldn't have been able to execute that overtake on track, on merit anyway. Why isn't there a wall on the exit of turn 1 from Johnny Harris? Well, that's a very good question. One that I can't answer. a good mate of mine, Brenton O'Brien, he works at the circuit. He might be able to answer that for you. But that was Rodney Collins' moment. Yeah, that bloody Melbourne sign again. Yes, we know where we're at. Thank you. Yeah, that was... We probably need to get another angle of that just to see... Like, it was all isolated and not no third-party involvement, but it seemed like a bit of a savage bit of, reaction response.
I was trying to find that one again, and I can't find it.
We're just going to rewind. There we go.
Yeah,
That's it.
There we go. We have the technology.
Do we what?
Just the rear of it's just broken away a little bit. Right here, there.
There it is. There. Right. Bang. It's right. Oh, it's the gravel is what savagely picked him up and spat him out.
Yeah.
It's arrival on the gravel at that speed. That's what's done it. Yeah. Because there was nothing in the early part of that to suggest that he should have been rolling over, but no, it's just the way the car has dug into the gravel.
Then we jump on here with Mr. Schmidt.
Just to add insult to injury for him. Oh, no. So Schmitty goes for a ride through. To be fair, if you were to put a tyre wall there, it'd be a hell of a hit and a hell of a clean-up job in an incident like either Schmidtke's or Haynes, obviously. There would be reasons for it, and I would hazard a guess that it is only on... Oh, wow. Jeff Adams and Adam Lavis fighting with fire there. I would hazard a guess that because we seldom see it, I mean, the last time you saw anything like that in the real world, I'm pretty sure, if I do my homework correctly, was Cameron McConville in the Phillip Island 500 all those years ago.
Yeah,
and that was a wild ride, and it was a very similar near miss like Greg Heaney had for an oncoming competitor as well.
Yes.
But I can't recall too many examples of it in real world motorsport. Maybe, obviously, the other thing as well, circuit upgrades and other things may not have always been passed on by iRacing either. So if there's more gravel there or there's more runoff, or there's no more runoff, obviously, but if there's more gravel or more measures in place in which to try and prevent that from happening, then they haven't been passed on to iRacing as yet. And again, iRacing does need to do another tour of Australia sometime soon, Joe. I know there's ongoing discussion with regards to getting Sydney Motorsport Park scanned. There'll obviously be immediate interest in having them revisit Adelaide when they reconfigure that circuit for next year's Australian Motorcycle Grand Prix, especially if supercars then keep that configuration as well. There's all sorts of unknowns coming up in the next 18 months. But I'd love to see them come back and scan the MotoGP equivalent, because it looks like I'm a bit worried about how it's going to be for crashes for motorcycles, but it looks like a belter of a racetrack. So
yeah, that definitely worries me. We've all seen the dramas that have befell the Isle of Man over the years with walls and whatnot around. So going to be an interesting concept, I think.
Indeed. Righto, mate. You've got very important places to be and people to see, and we appreciate you taking some time out on a Saturday to replay the Friday night motorsport action for everybody at home. So let's start to wrap this one up. Phillip Island, done. Circuit de la Sarthe, the 24 Hours of Le Mans venue, the next stop. It will be the second and final 90-minute enduro of the season on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club for Disruptive Labs GTE, although that logo needs a little bit of a change in the top corner there, Joe, and also the top of the screen, probably that's 2026A as well, but that's okay.
I've noticed that all season.
All season, and clearly Banksy hasn't either.
No.
What the hell's he been doing? And it's not the M2. We've already established that it's the late model Trans Am in action for you tonight in the MtnMen, ladies and gentlemen. More importantly, we can do a championship update, Joe. We can do a championship points update for everybody. That's the only bit of housekeeping we haven't taken care of yet. Stephen Bull's wiped us out tonight, taking the full 99 points. Second for the round, Ryan Jones, 83. Third for the round was Aidan Luthwaite with 73 points. Championship points, it's now an unassailable advantage, as I said earlier, for Stephen Bull. 145 points the advantage for him there. And just go over to the next one. There it is, Joe. You just saw the before and after, ladies and gentlemen. Before and coming out of the round, Stephen Bull's advantage is 145 points, so he cannot be beaten. He doesn't need to even bother turning up next week, but he may as well, just to add insult to injury, put the icing on the cake. A Porsche 1, 2, Ford 3, 4, BMW 5, Chev 6, 7, 8, Porsche 9 and Ferrari 10. And look at that. All 5 manufacturers represented somehow in the top 10 still after a night of carnage and chaos at the gateway to hypothermia. I think we've seen enough of rain for the week. 481 for Brendan Grosh. He's as good as home in second. Liam Haycock has Adam Lavis breathing down his neck in the battle for third in the points race. 396 plays 376 and Paul Wood 361. So the bottom half of the top 10 also still there for a little bit of moving and shaking and a little bit of positional change in the final week, and more points on the line because it is an enduro, so a lot to look forward to when we get to the Circuit de la Sarthe. 90 points on the line tonight for the 60-minute, 60 points on the line for the 45-minute races. So there's actually 120 on the line next week. But still, that means that Stephen Bull is home and hosed. But yes, the other positions still firmly up for grabs. 15 points between Lavis and his teammate Paul Wood. Jeff Adams on 312, only 6 clear of Matt Schmidtke now, and then a big 36-point gap to the absence Benny Woods. Greg Heaney, 253, and Eduardo Zamora, 231. Still an opportunity for the guys, particularly Derek Fitzgerald and Rodney Gollan, who are just outside the top 10 to find their way in, depending upon how many turn up for the 90-minute journey around the Circuit de la Sarthe. Next week, let's have a look at what's coming your way on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club across Facebook and YouTube. We do it with thanks to the great people scrolling across the top and bottom of your screen as per usual. Let's quickly mention them. Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, Trophy AI, merch.tgsrci.com and Flash Graphics. Trans Am Racing tonight from Mount Panorama. Good luck to all and sundry there. 8:30 the commencement of play and 32 laps the journey. Eastern Daylight Time, 5:30 on the West Coast. Monday night, make a note of this. Everything's starting a little bit earlier, so the time on your screen there needs to actually be 7:30 for the final round of Waste Options Wings and Slicks Super Formula Light from the Sebring International Raceway in Florida. We know one gentleman that won't be gracing us with his presence for that, probably not even in the viewing room in YouTube either. Hello to Nick Photiatis. We know he tunes in on a regular basis. 45 minutes the journey there. Super Formula Light. 7:25 will be on air for a 7:30 race start, Eastern Daylight Time. As soon as we're done, Eli Donaldson's already wrapped up the GT3 Championship with thanks to Waste Options, but the Pro Split finale from Road America should be an absolute belter. We'll bring it to you live. 90 minutes the journey, 8:45 Eastern Daylight Time. It's a big week, extra racing, extra length, and time being given to Grand Final week next week, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to your company. Longer races, more time, more dedication, more commitment, and we're absolutely loving it. We wouldn't be anywhere else in Grand Final week. Tuesday night, off to the Mount Panorama circuit for the Downforce Legends. That's GSRC Downforce Legends, Mount Panorama, 40 minutes to journey, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Then the Super Sprint finale from here at the Island. Do they have wet tyres in the Lotus 79s? I'm not sure.
Yes,
They do. Excellent. There could be some wet weather racing again on Tuesday night for you, ladies and gentlemen. From the gateway to hypothermia, the GSRC Retro Formula 1 Championship, the Super Sprint finale from 9:15 Eastern Daylight Time. Wednesday afternoon, we'll replay the action from the Hungaro Ring from the Oz Legends Cup and the GSRC Trophy AI Supercar Series. So round 9 replay Wednesday afternoon sometime. Stay tuned for more details regarding that. Then hopefully Dan Yeaman's in the house and able to bring us all the action from the finale of those 2 championships. That will be from the Adelaide Parkland Street Circuit, a super sprint race there, firstly, for the Oz Legends Cup. So that's 3 races up on the usual 2. So it's going to be 10, 15 and 25, I think, the lengths of those 3. 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Hope you can join us for that. Then on to the supercar finale from the same venue, a 60-minute grand finale at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Thursday night, race start is earlier, 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Broadcast will be kicking in about 11 o'clock. Maybe a little bit later. We'll see how we go. Andrew Neil and I will be here, but the GT4 Disruptive Labs Challenge finale will be delayed. the race itself for those planning to compete. The Nürburgring, not the Nordschleife, just the World Endurance Championship configuration of the Grand Prix circuit, 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Then back here, seeing a lot of Phillip Island over the next 7 days, aren't we? Not a bad thing. I'd bring every race here if we could. It's an absolutely magnificent venue. Super Sprint finale, Porsches. Race 1 from the AM Split, race 2 from the Open, race 3 from the Elite. That's as far as our broadcast is concerned. That's going to keep Andrew Neil at his toes. That's going to test him, jumping between servers between the two races there. But we're going to have to do it fast and efficient. Super Sprint finale, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Hopefully Adam Lavis has leveraged a little bit of room in there to make us make it work for us moving between those servers because normally it's a 9 p.m. Eastern time, but I would imagine, just to give us that 5-minute leverage leeway that we need, that the Pro-Am split racing won't start until, or the Open split racing won't start until 9:05, and the Elite split will start at 9:10, just to enable us to be able to cover a race from each split. 9 p.m. Eastern, hope you can join us for that. Then we'll go to the World Endurance Championship configuration of the Nürburgring. Friday night, have a look at this. Joe Baldwin, Liam Banks back with you, I'm trusting. If not, I'll jump in again. I don't mind. The GTE was fantastic today. The Circuit de la Sarthe, the venue, the GTE Disruptive Labs grand finale. Already championship wrapped up. It is a dead rubber, but still, who could say no to 90 minutes around the Circuit de la Sarthe, one of the great wonders of world motorsport. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The boys will be back with you live for that one. And Joe, it's been a pleasure to jump in and spend a bit of time with you today, replay that race from last night. A great way to end the 9th week of competition on a Saturday afternoon. Now we get to go and enjoy the rest of the weekend, mate. But that was clinical and dominant from Stephen Bull. Didn't matter whether it was wet or dry. He was the man to beat. And he didn't have to thread the needle too much either. Even though Ryan Jones was the faster on the run home, the damage was done when he had to make that second transit down the lane. So Stephen Bull was able to just ease off the throttle a little bit, not take any risks, bring it home, bank the points, crown himself the champion early.
Yeah, he did, mate. And Steve's been absolutely impeccable all season. Like I say, he'd be the first one to admit that he wasn't prepared or whatever at Adelaide early in the season. And I think even he probably thought he might have put his chances in jeopardy. But the guy, he's just smashed it right from the start of the season to where we are today. Like this is a championship that's very, very dense-like from the Porsches in the heyday there a couple of seasons ago, where Denchi just come out and smashed everybody. Well, Steve Bull's done that to the GTE field without a shadow of a doubt. So certainly a deserved champion, and he's put in the laps and the time and the hours, and congratulations to him.
Big grand final week coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Really excited about that. Australian Open World Nationals to follow the following Tuesday, and then, of course, Term 2 kicking into life again on the 13th of April, and hope you can join us for that. Merch.GSRC.inc is where you go for all your GSRC merch and paraphernalia. Make a purchase from there in time for Easter if you're not exchanging chocolate with your friends this year, because the chocolate prices skyrocketed beyond recognition, much like petrol and other things. Some people are avoiding chocolate altogether. Grab them some merch. Just let them know you're thinking of them, and let them know who we are and what we're all about. And if you want to get involved in anything that we're doing here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, the what, where, when, why, who and how of this great place. Always fun watching Joe struggle to get a good angle of the pit entry.
You shut up.
Adam Lavis with the drive-by right there at the end. We are done.
Pit lane camera, and have a look at where it's pointing. I wouldn't call it and say, Mr. Lavis, you just get back in your box.
That's it. I love it. He'll be back in this box on Monday night. So will we. Been a big term so far. Looking forward to finishing it off with you. As I said, if you want to get involved and be part of the action here, be it on track or be involved in the production of the broadcast, the commentary of the broadcast, or just sign up as a member or sign up as a sponsor even, race.tgsrci.com is where you go for all that relevant information. So 9 weeks down, one big week still to come. Some champions have already been crowned. Others are still firmly on the line. We look forward to grand finale week getting underway on Monday night, and good luck to everybody competing in MtnMen tonight as well on the Trans Ams there. And as far as this weekend is concerned, ladies and gentlemen, around the grounds quickly as we sign off here. The AFL already underway. Gold Coast leading by 25 points on the stroke at half-time against Richmond, 59 plays 34. New South Wales are chasing 333 to win the Women's National Cricket League final this afternoon. That is being played at Cricket Central in Sydney. They are none for 32 in the 7th over. They need to get a little bit of a wriggle on there after a magnificent effort from the Queensland Fire earlier in the day. The Golden Slipper jumps at 4:35 Eastern Daylight Time this afternoon. You can see that on the screens of 7. Good luck to the Matildas tonight in the Asian Cup final against Japan. Kick-off at 8 o'clock, and of course, the coverage on Network 10 from 6:30. And for motor racing fans, the Sebring 12 hour tomorrow morning from 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So a lot to look forward to there. Plus the AFL, the NRL, the Super Netball, the NBL finals. You name it, we've got it covered this weekend. The Australian Women's PGA. Live Golf is in South Africa. There's just a smorgasbord of motorsport with MotoGP in Brazil and NASCAR from Darlington. A week off for IndyCar, but a lot to look forward to on what is a massive weekend. Formula E from Spain at midnight tonight too, if anyone's keen to check that out. It'll be getting underway around about the same time as the Sebring 12 hours. So if you don't like your sport, you'll have to find something else to do this weekend. And if you do like your sport for choice, too much is never enough. On behalf of all the crew here, thanks to Joe Baldwin. Thanks to you at home. Great to jump in and cover a Friday on a Saturday for the first time this season. Liam Banks and Joe back with you for the live finale next Friday night. I'll see you for grand final week when it gets underway. Monday evening from Sebring and then on to Road America. An all East Coast American doubleheader to bring Super Formula Light and GT3 to a close on Waste Options Monday Night Motorsport. Enjoy what's left of your weekend, everybody, and thanks for your company this afternoon. Until then, from all the broadcast commentary and production team here, I'm Zach Caban bidding you a very good afternoon.